Beneath the desert moon, where silence paints the sands, a prince walked alone, holding sorrow in his hands. The falcons that once soared beside his name now circled far above, whispering of forgotten flame. He was Fazza, the world's beloved son, a rider of storms, a poet of the sun. But even kings with golden crowns shine less when love departs, leaving an empty wilderness. His heart remembered her laughter like desert rain, rare, precious, gone too soon again. The dunes carried echoes of what was lost, reminding him daily of the price love costs. The palace glittered with diamonds bright, yet none could heal the hollow of night. Silken halls sang with music and wine, but he felt alone, though the world called him divine. He wrote in the stillness of candlelight, verses soaked in unspoken fight. Each word a wound carved deep in sand, each sigh a kingdom slipping from his hand. Oh, how he longed for the gentlest touch, for love's embrace that meant so much. But fate was cruel and silence loud. Even royals weep though they hide from the crowd. He remembered riding his horse at dawn, when her smile rose with the breaking morn. Now the saddle feels colder, the reins too still, the journey endless, an empty will. The stars look down, a million eyes, yet none can answer his midnight cries. He prays to the desert, he prays to the sky, but the echoes return only with goodbye. The falcons no longer sing of victory. They speak of sorrow, of memory. The poems he shares with the world in light are born from shadows he hides at night. Fazza walks by the Arabian Sea. Waves remind him of what used to be. The tide washes footprints away from shore, just as time erased the love he swore. He kneels in prayer, his voice aflame, calling to Allah, whispering her name, but destiny answers with silence alone, a lesson carved into heart and bone. The poets of old would envy his grief, for sorrow too is a crown for a chief. Yet he bears it gently with royal grace, though pain paints lines upon his face. Every rose in his garden reminds of the love he lost, of the ties unkind. Even the camels that roam by night sense his silence beneath starlight. The world sees only the prince on a throne, but in truth he walks this path alone. For love once touched him deep and pure, and losing it left a wound with no cure. His tears are rivers the desert drinks, hidden behind eyes where no one thinks. To the people he is hope's strong flame, to himself he is shadows without a name. And so he writes, night after night, turning sorrow into verses of light. For poetry is the blood his heart still bleeds, and love, though gone, still plants its seeds. In the silence of the palace halls, his footsteps echoed like forgotten calls. Sheikh Hamdan walked alone with fate, carrying sorrows too heavy, too great. The moon looked down with silver eyes, watching a prince who no longer smiles, for every shadow whispered his name, but none could heal his hidden flame. He touched the reins of his faithful steed. The desert wind carried his grief and need. Once he rode with laughter, heart unbound, but now only echoes of sorrow resound. His poetry spilled like blood on sand, lines carved deeply by a trembling hand. Every verse a wound, every rhyme a scar, singing of a love that feels too far. He asked the stars, why take her away? But silence answered night after day. He asked the dunes, can you hide my tears? Yet the sand drank sorrow for endless years. Even falcons circling in royal skies paused at the sadness within his eyes. They knew a warrior strong, brave, and true, yet broken by memories he could not undo. The desert became his only friend. On its endless roads, his grief won't end. Each night he rides till dawn appears, hiding his pain from the world's bright mirrors. Through endless corridors of the night, he wandered, searching for a trace of light. But every lamp had dimmed its flame, and every echo called her name. The gardens, once alive with song, now stood in silence, cold and long. The fountains whispered broken streams, haunting him with shattered dreams. His falcons soared but brought no cheer. Their wings just mirrored what he feared. For freedom meant nothing in the skies, when chains still bound a lover's cries. The desert sands that knew his pace now wept beneath his grieving face. Every footprint carved in dust was filled with sorrow, loss, and trust. His poetry became a secret blade, cutting through nights where prayers were made, each word a drop of bleeding pain, falling like soft, unending rain. He whispered, "O Allah, give me peace. Let my restless heart find release. If love was written to fade away, why does its shadow forever stay?" The stars were countless, sharp and cold. They told no stories, gave no hold. And though he reached with hands so wide, the heavens stayed so far denied. The palace gate stood tall, unmoved. They knew his joys, they knew he proved. But now they guarded only grief, a prince whose soul sought no relief. He rode his steed at break of dawn, a fleeting shadow, frail, withdrawn. The desert winds became his guide, but still the ache would never hide.